If you told me a 30-minute walking simulator video game about staring at subway tiles was going to be one of the tightest psychological thrillers of the year, I might have questioned your sanity. We live in an era of soulless IP cash grabs, where studios stretch absolute nothing into 90 minutes of wasted time. The bar for video game adaptations is practically underground. But Exit 8 isn't a gimmick. It's not an existential nightmare, and weirdly enough, it's the closest thing we've gotten to the spirit of Fight Club in 25 years. Because sometimes the most terrifying trap isn't a monster in the dark. It's the soul-crushing, repetitive loop of your own daily life.
Getting old sucks.
I saw the trailer for Exit 8 and it seemed interesting. I looked into it and realised it's based on this 30-minute indie walking simulator about an endless subway hallway, and thought, geez, how are they going to stretch that into 95 minutes? And here's the thing, they pulled it off. I caught the Fight Club 4K re-release a few days ago and the parallels clicked into place. Both of these films fundamentally are about men being slowly crushed to death by the mundane, repetitive loops of their own lives. In Fight Club, the narrator is running on a hamster wheel of consumerism and insomnia to actively avoid the massive hollow void in his soul. He creates Tyler Durden to blow up the physical manifestations of his anxiety because he's too terrified to do the actual hard work of fixing his life. Exit 8 weaponizes that exact same psychological avoidance. Kazunari Ninomiya's Lost Man isn't just randomly trapped in a Japanese subway. The loop triggers right after an anxiety attack induced by his ex-girlfriend dropping the news that she's pregnant. His infinite loop in the underground isn't just a physical trap, it's a physical manifestation of a psychological stalling tactic. He's literally walking in circles to avoid the terrifying forward-moving reality of adulthood and impending fatherhood. Both of these characters are trapped in holding patterns because moving forward is simply too overwhelming. For the Fight Club narrator, moving forward means facing his emptiness. For the Lost Man, it means facing his responsibilities. And both the directors, they understand that modern urban life is inherently isolating and they use sterile architecture to build their traps. Fight Club stranded the narrator in quintessential spaces of the 90s, airport terminals, identical corporate hotel rooms, and fluorescent lit office copy rooms. Exit 8 distills that isolation down to its purest form, the blindingly white, sterile tiles of a metro station. These are what anthropologists call non-places, environments built purely for transit, not for existence. Being permanently stuck in a space designed solely for temporary travel is a brilliant, crushing metaphor of alienation. You're stuck in the waiting room of your own life, doing the same thing every day, completely detached from the people around you. This specific brand of isolation is exactly why this subgenre is exploding right now. It's the reason we're about to see the ultimate nun place get the big screen A24 treatment when Kane Parsons' Backrooms hits theatres on May 29th. The cultural terror of being trapped in a transitional, fluorescent-soaked void hasn't faded since 1999. It's just mutated into a recognised cinematic phobia. Severance, anyone? But look, what elevates Exit 8 is how the director, Genki Kawamura, executes that phobia. He doesn't rely on the lazy, blaring bass drop jump scares that pollute mainstream horror today. Early on in the film, there's a sequence where the camera's following our protagonist around, and it simply pans around to reveal the walking man NPC standing right behind him with this deeply unsettling, creepy grin. It's a masterful, cruel piece of setup. It's Pavlovian. It's Pavlovian conditioning at its finest, because by establishing that reveal early on, the director permanently taints that specific camera movement. Every subsequent time the camera begins that familiar sweep, your blood pressure spikes, even if there's absolutely nothing there when the turn completes. The camera move itself becomes a loop of anxiety, perfectly mirroring the physical trap of the hallway. And as a massive bonus for anyone who respects the technical side of the art form, the execution here is entirely practical. You can see behind the scenes footage of the actor playing the walking man literally hopping on a bicycle behind the set walls, pedaling like a maniac to beat the camera pan and hit his mark at the end of the hallway in real time. In an era where most studios would just lazily get a CGI asset and comp it in, Kawamura committed to the physical in-camera trickery. That tangible practical effect is exactly why the dread feels so suffocatingly real. And just when you think you've figured out the mechanics of this trap early on, just when you start to write the film off as a very well shot feature-length escape room, Kawamura pulls the rug out from under you. Without ruining any surprises, the second act features a wildly unexpected swing. The film makes a structural pivot so bold and jarring that it completely changes the context of the entire hallway. It's a deeply confident choice, and it completely short-circuits your brain. It instantly deepens the puzzle, elevating the experience from being a simple survival gimmick into something profoundly more complex. You stop just looking for anomalies with the characters, you start questioning the fundamental reality of the loop itself. Look, I'm not going to sit here and spoil the film for you. Spoiling an experience this tightly wound actually feels criminal. If you want a movie where the director holds your hand, explains the lore, wraps up the trauma in a neat little bow before the credits roll, go watch a Marvel movie. Exit 8 does not care about making you comfortable, and it absolutely refuses to spoon-feed you an explanation. Instead, it hands you the pieces and forces you to puzzle it together yourself. The film acts as a cinematic Rorschach test. You can walk away arguing exactly different theories about what you just watched. Is he dead? Is he trapped in some literal fluorescent-lit purgatory? Is the hallway a manifestation of his own anguish, a mental stall tactic because of his fear of responsibility? Is it a straight-up supernatural ghost story? Or is it just a brilliantly executed piece of experimental cinema designed purely to make us hyper-aware of the soul-crushing spaces we sleepwalk through every single day? Like, any of those interpretations work, but the fun of it is the journey. This is the magic of a director who actually respects the craft and respects the audience's intelligence. Whether it's the corporate insomnia of Fight Club or the endless tiled madness of Exit 8, the anomalies scream the exact same message. The reality you are passively accepting is fundamentally broken. Wake up and pay attention. I'll see you for the next one.
Would you like to know more?
Movies, popcorn.